these
have
panels.
have you been reading my questions already?
Oops, got it.
You wanna go ahead and take this, James? Take it over.
The
Well,
first.
it's 8 o'clock now, so we can officially start. Again, thank you for being here. This is just to make sure that you guys are in the right room. This is the Bronies panel.
Leave while you still can.
Stand up and leave.
Oh wait, I'm supposed to be in Hall H.
So
No, I'm not that cool.
This is the Inuyasha panel.
Well, I'm out of here.
So
Get out.
So Bronies, of course, are fans of My Little Pony: Friendship is Magic, which is the fourth generation of My Little Ponies. As a disclaimer, My Little Ponies and all related IP are owned by Hasbro. We by no way try to make profit out of that. And all views expressed here are.
Whoa. I thought we were getting paid for this.
Huh?
I thought we were getting paid for this.
Oh, I'm sorry. We'll talk about that later.
I'm
I'm
still
out.
buying the drinks.
What is this? What is this, DashCon? I'm out.
So all views expressed here are those of the panelists only and are not necessarily those of Comic-Con International, their employers, or any organizations that they are associated with. With that, let's go ahead and give an opportunity for the panelists to introduce themselves. We will start with Mr. Andrew Ho.
Yep. So, like you said, I'm Andrew Ho, and I primarily work with BronyCAN, which was confused for the longest time with BronyCon. So I don't know. Yeah, I didn't pick the name, but yeah, that's based up in Vancouver, British Columbia. I actually happen to be one of the few Americans on that staff, but everyone else is Canadian. I get mistaken for it all the time. And yeah, I work mostly guest relations on that side, so VIP relations or what have you.
Hey, my name is Carlos Marquez, and I used to work public relations for Pacific PonyCon. Right now I'm here representing TJ Bronies from Tijuana, so, you guys check your wallets before you leave. And,
What are the homes?
And as a courtesy to my people, I'm going to continue this whole panel in Spanish. You guys are from California. I assume everyone here speaks Spanish. So,
Okay.
no? Oh, okay, bueno, está bien.
I guess I'll go next. I'm Joseph Noblit. I'm vendor lead and one of the directors for Pacific PonyCon here in San Diego. Currently, I'm cosplaying, not a pony character. I apologize.
Boo.
I also volunteer for Everfree Northwest in Seattle, and I'm What was that? Oh, okay. You're just brushing over to me. I also am currently helping create 2 Steven Universe conventions, one on each coast.
Oh, I was supposed to sort of raid that convention and Anyway, I'll talk to you about that later. My name is Louis. I am one of the. Hey, what's up? Welcome to the panel. Hey, what's up?
Only 5 minutes late.
Okay, only 5 minutes late, guys. This ain't a lecture hall here.
It'll be a test.
See? My name is Louis. I am one of the admins for Horse News. Yes, the Horse News, the infamous evildoers of Horse News. Yeah, that's who we are.
I'm Steven. I'm a representative from Equestria Daily. I write for the website as well as basically post news as well as videos, music, and all of the stuff that you know. I'm hoping all of you know Equestria Daily. If not, we also have an app and a website.
So since you've introduced yourselves, and if you guys don't know about Bronies, these guys will tell you about Bronies. We were really an unexpected creation from the show. Like, the show is targeted towards adolescent women, and all of a sudden, there's, as you can see from the panel here, we'd actually have one Pegasister or female Brony on the panel, but she wasn't able to come down from San Francisco. And we created an audience here of mainly young adult men, and it's fueled Hasbro pretty well. But and part of what it had fueled was all these organizations and conventions that have brought tens of thousands of My Little Pony fans out there, including people from the core audience. So why don't you tell us all a little bit about your organizations? If we could start from the end of the panel.
That's you.
Oh, okay. Equestria Daily is a fan blog / news site that was started around 5-6 years ago. I honestly can't remember. It started off as it was actually because ponies were banned from 4chan, and the main guy who started the website, he decided to just make it to kind of center it as its own type of entity. And soon we've been able to get interviews with show staff. We've been able to just have a bunch of really awesome content, from spotlighting really amazing art to convention spotlights, talking to people at conventions. And it's 6 years in running, so we're doing pretty well so far. Woo.
Oh, it's my turn?
Yeah.
No.
Horse news. Oh, man. We have a bit of a history.
Antithesis?
Yeah, we're sort of the antithesis, whatever the hell that name is, with Equestria Daily. We are also a news site as well, but unlike Equestria Daily, even though we think they're awesome too, we deal more with the vices of the fandom, drama, investigative reporting, and general just what the heck is wrong with this fandom. Actually, a funny story is that we were created because of a former an old radio network empire decided to create a news station to try to remove Equestria Daily out of the whole relevancy.
Wait, that was why you were made?
What?
That was why you're what? Really?
No. Basically, okay. You know what? I'll just name drop. Screw it. Basically, every network created every news, which was a direct competition to you guys to put you guys out of business.
Yeah, I remember
and as sort of as a parody, a bunch of guys from 4chan/LP decided to create Horse News, and then it became this entirely monster that has dreaded the fandom ever since.
Yeah, but doesn't that say something about the magic of friendship, that you two are able to sit next to each other, you being competing
Is that why you
sites?
put them next to each other?
No, because alphabetical.
I mean, we still got another 40 minutes, so, we'll see what happens.
Stay tuned for the fight in 45 minutes.
All right.
Yeah, that.
All right. For Pacific PonyCon, I believe it was 2014, was it? We basically were a bunch of bronies down here in San Diego. BABSCon not BABSCon. Equestria LA actually folded, and we were saying, hey, we would like to have a convention again. So we put ourselves together, and over time, we are able to get our first con this year. And we're aiming for next year. It's going to be amazing. And I can't say anything for Everfree because I was not at the ground floor on that. But Everfree is still going strong after 5 years.
So Carlos, tell us about, since Joseph there's already talked about Pacific PonyCon, tell us about the Tijuana bronies. How is it being a brony down there south of the border?
So it's very similar, but a lot more Mexican.
Wait a minute, more Mexican than the SoCal bronies? Oh wow! I got some bad news for you, bro.
Surprisingly, yes. It was very easy adapting.
So 5% more than you? Okay, 5%.
More or less, give or take.
By a 5% margin.
But no, it's basically a bunch of friends that just the same way pretty much everything got started over here, right? Bunch of guys, bunch of 2 women, pretty much like the show, and they hit the interwebs, the safest place to meet people nowadays, and found each other and started hanging out. Other interests come up, but pretty much Pony is what keeps this group together, and I mean, you make friends that you remember your whole life.
Real talk.
That was deep, bro. Very deep.
Yeah.
Group hug right now. Come here.
Oh, man. See, now he just ruined it.
Now kiss.
That's not a good thing.
He's asking for it.
Yeah, and for BronyCAN, kind of formed similarly. There was a group up in there called Vancouver Bronies. Not a great pun, but oh well. Our first year was 2013, and one of the honors of being based up there is that DHX Studios, the animation studio that makes the show, and a ton of the voice actors and artists based in Vancouver. So it's kind of ideal for us. Let's see. Been in the same location for about 3 years now. This is our 4th year. What else? Oh,
Hello.
and I guess at this point, Rick. Sure.
That's what they all say.
Final draft, please.
And act it.
Now let's let them get settled.
Sorry about that. Had to clear something up. Okay, so delay, random speaking, and so that way, we don't get dead air. Not that we aren't radio, but dead air is kind of weird during a panel, right? So you talk about where you are now, but how did you guys first get into My Little Pony: Friendship is Magic? I mean, this is a show that Grant Laura Faust wrote it so it could appeal to all ages, but that was targeted towards adolescent women, and none of you are adolescent women, at least.
You don't know.
I'm
Excuse
sorry,
me. That is not nice.
Yeah, I know. Sorry, I
That's
didn't mean to trigger
profiling.
anybody. So how did y'all get into My Little Pony? What was your first experience of My Little Pony, and what from that experience made you a fan?
4chan.
Meme base. I'm not proud of that, but yeah, meme base.
I saw a season 2 episode back when season 2 started, and I was just kind of like, oh, this is really neat. I laughed a few times. Let's see. And then 4 years later, I'm here.
But wait a minute. How did you first find out about it, though?
Like a friend linked Luna Eclipse to me, and they were just like, this show is so awesome, and like their screen name was Luna as well, so they were like, oh, I feel the same as this character, I could really empathize with their problems.
Emo?
And, yeah, and I was just like, okay, cool, and then like I do with all shows, I watched it, and then I didn't watch it for 6 months, and I picked it back up again and got addicted.
Anyone else?
It's on you, dude.
Oh, and then I found Equestria Daily like a year later, and I've been writing for it ever since. It's pretty cool. It's enjoyable. That's the word. You go next.
Well,
I already said meme base. Like I said, I'm not proud of that.
Oh, yeah.
I'll elaborate on 4chan. I saw it.
Yeah.
Because that's what we all know.
Everyone
I would
for-
just
no,
say,
I
I just say, oh, 4chan found something to make fun of again, and I was actually gonna just brush it off, but I'm not gonna lie. I found out Tara Strong was voicing the character. I love animation. Tara Strong is a goddess among voice actors, actresses, whatever. I checked it out. I spent the next 12 hours on the internet watching ponies. I went to sleep at 3 a.m. I had a test at 6. What did I do? Why did I do this to
Panic.
myself?
You watch ponies, apparently.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did, and I'm okay with this. I made the right choice.
Did you ace the test at least?
B+.
Good
Clo-
enough.
Close.
Close enough.
It's
Would-
not
yeah,
a.
would
It's
you
not a.
say
D.
that
Yeah,
you got
that's
that
why I
B
did. I drew
plus
ponies on it,
because
and
of
I
ponies?
was fine.
B is for Bronies.
The guy who was grading your test actually binge watched all of My Little Pony.
No, he just felt sorry for me.
Wait, they gave you good. Wait,
about
wait.
the
They gave
same
you
thing.
they gave you good grades for feeling sorry for you. What is this? State University?
Yes.
Wow.
No, it's a liberal arts college.
Close enough.
Oh my god, these jokes are awful.
Alright, so one of the first things I saw of My Little Pony was this fan animation where Pinkie Pie could control Photoshop or something and just kept messing with everyone. And I thought it was funny. I mean, never seen that. And then I started watching the show, and for seriously the whole first season, I wondered when she was going to use her Photoshop powers. And I thought, maybe it's like anime. She's going to get that power later on by beating another pony or something. But no, that never happened. I'm still waiting for that, actually. I'm hoping season 7, season 8 is coming. The
So
movie,
if anyone
maybe.
knows the writers for My Little Pony, get them to watch the filming of this panel, and so that way they can incorporate that.
Hey, Jim.
Well, now legally they can't if they do see it.
Oh yeah, that's right, because they can't credit.
You have to
Yep.
mention
How about this?
it.
By show of hand, who here works for the show?
That's what we thought.
Yeah, that's what we
Oh.
thought. Sorry, your headcanon will not happen. I'm
See,
sorry.
they didn't know.
For me, I believe it's more indeliberate indoctrination. Penny Arcade Expo East. And anyone familiar with that? Boston, Massachusetts. I walked in on a pony music video being played, and then I couldn't stop thinking about it after that. I just wanted to watch an episode, get it out, and yeah, kind of took off from there.
So that's how you guys got started into My Little Pony. But My Little Pony is coming on season 6, and they've been, can I say this? They've been cleared for season 7.
We hope.
Can you say that?
I can.
Yeah, you actually can.
Yeah,
Can we? Okay.
I mean, I don't care. It's not like I work for Hasbro.
Right.
Most likely they're clear.
So
My dad works for Hasbro, and he says it's confirmed.
Uh-oh.
So, what keeps you guys as fans of this show?
Writing, really. That's why I got sucked into it. I like Steve over there, a fan fiction author. I absolutely adore the writing because honestly, I thought it was just gonna be like a dumb kid show, like what's mostly on TV now. But writing was really in depth. It was
Steven
great,
Universe.
and the characters actually evolve, and we actually are seeing a lot of that right now with season 6. Or whatever season we're on.
It's the current season.
It's 8 p.m. on a Saturday at Comic-Con. I'm surprised I'm awake.
Oh.
It's the current season.
That.
I'm currently attending college for a journalism major, so.
Maybe.
Oh wait, are you? Okay. So getting on Equestria Daily is how I kind of stay ahead of the pony game nowadays. And also just the show is very enjoyable. I felt it really got better after season 5, and season 6 is also enjoyable as well. So, and like he said, I also take part in both writing as well as putting together projects from time to time.
I'm also, like these two guys, I don't know why you put all the fanfic writers on this one side, but on one table. I'm also a fanfic writer. I do not recommend any of my work. They're terrible. Now, with that said, what keeps me in this fandom is the drama, because I get to report on it. What? It's funny. Because you realize how stupid it all is. And also Sunset Shimmer, she keeps me in this fandom. Shut up, Leslie.
Yes. So, honestly, what keeps me in the fandom? My friends. Not him, though, but the other friends. Yeah.
Yeah, for me, it's mostly conventions. I mean, since 2013, I've been going to at least like 4 or 5 conventions around the country for Pony. Just working them has kind of become a habit now, and just I know a bunch of friends and people from that, and it kind of keeps me busy. So yeah.
So since you mentioned conventions, convention really is just a very large meetup with money involved. So
Money involved.
when you granted the fandom kind of started on the internet and people started finding each other, but how was that first meeting for y'all? Do you have like a story that you want to tell about the impression that the fandom made on you when you first met other fans?
I have a really good story. Okay. So this was my first ever pony meetup was for, I believe this was in 2012, early 2012, the My Little Pony night out. It was in Hollywood, California. They had all the stars. They had like this display with all these people. I think Perez Hilton even had a little pony he designed. So I met some people from the SoCal Bronies, and just like the fandom, I rear-ended a car. So it was a good allegory for the fandom because it was destructive and it cost me too much money.
Well, I didn't know that happened during that event. But
It was my first time.
I have one similar to that. Same event, but I didn't rear-end anyone. Rather, I actually met someone just waiting in line for the signing. He's not here because he doesn't have money, but either way, I met him there, and it turns out, at the time, he said, I'm going to Everfree Northwest. You interested in coming? I said, I've never been to Washington. That's okay. You should still come. We have room in our hotel room. Okay, I guess I can go. I proved it with with everything. I was able to go. I had met him once for maybe 15 minutes waiting in line, and he welcomed me to go to another state with him. For all I know, my organs could have been sold on eBay the next day. But I didn't care because I was saying, this is going to be an amazing trip. And it absolutely was. Now I'm working for that same convention.
By the way,
Missing one
I just
kidney.
want to, if I want to do a quick thing, I would recommend, if you guys live in Southern California, I just recommend you drive up to Everfree Northwest. I know it's terrible, but the scenery is beautiful.
You will not regret it. Just don't do it in one trip like I did. Like, sleep. Stop and sleep.
There's also a train. Don't forget that. It's pretty scenic too.
days.
You'll spend more time on the train than on the convention.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Anyway,
For me, I just moved to Seattle, Washington. I was just trying to make friends. So maybe unwisely, I put together a pub crawl, met a lot of people, forgot who they were after that, and yeah, I kind of went from there.
So you've talked about your first meetups, but how is it that you got there? There are like two groups of people. There's those who attend the meetups and those who organize the meetups. So how is it that you guys ended up on the other side of the table, of not just being a consumer of the content of the meetups, but being producers of them?
it's tough to go for you, Steve.
Oh yeah. I met the EQD people like around 3-ish years ago, and that was back when I was just kind of in the fandom and a regular fan. And you kind of, you network and you basically say, because I wrote a lot of fan fiction, I had a lot of writing that was basically really good. I was like, oh, maybe I can write for EQD and do something new. Considering that I had a journalism going for a journalism major, I suggested writing what are called editorial pieces, which are basically like analysis videos or opinion pieces on where the show is going, where I think it could go, and like how the season is going to be and everything. So it's very weird because I had an EQD panel at BronyCon, and people they know my pen name now, and that's just weird. People know me now. Like I was a nobody 3 years ago, and now I'm at Comic-Con at a table. It's really surreal and weird.
Yeah, we're slightly bigger than nobody's now.
Sort of a difference between being part of the general fandom and being a content producer is, especially when you're working for Horse News, is you get to see all the drama, every single one of them. And here's the best part: is I know a lot of people. I don't know if half of you guys even know who we are, but for every piece of drama that we post, there's 10 that show up and that we say no because it's either too dumb, it's only 2 people, or let's be honest, we don't got time. We don't got time for that. But seeing things on the other side of the coin, it's kind of surreal because you realize, this fandom is not that different from all the other fandoms. I know it's great and all that, but wow.
Actually, I have to say, this has been one of the hardest things I've ever done because I've always loved conventions. This is actually my 50th convention overall for 10 years. I absolutely love going to conventions. I love talking, meeting people. I recognize a lot of faces in the crowd. But the thing is, what goes behind the scenes of a convention is a nightmare.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful,
it's
a wonderful nightmare because they're putting on something amazing that people are going to talk about for years. And I absolutely adore what I do, even if it keeps me sleepless nights and makes me want to punch some people. Isn't that right, Charlie?
You're making memories.
You said it.
But I would never trade this for the world, even if it has costed me actually health at one point.
That happens at least once. When you're working a convention, is you're gonna one of those conventions it's gonna hit you pretty hard.
And not just the con funk.
Stress mostly.
I'm not really a content creator. I did help out with Pacific PonyCon, and I honestly, that was fun. For me, that was fun. Got to talk to a lot of people, got to mess stuff up and blame it on other people, which, hooray, chain of command. And at the end of the day, our fandom isn't that huge, and be it EQD, Horse News, Everfree, we're all just a bunch of people that really like the show. So there's really not much of a difference between any of us.
Let's see. For me,
In the common core for everybody, I think it's the love for the show that keeps us all together, like one big, happy, dysfunctional family.
Mm-hmm.
Fun
pretty
and
much.
dysfunctional.
Like
Well,
my real
the
family.
friendships also stay over time. Because you could have people that, float in and out of the fandom, but I still have a bunch of people who are friends who are not in the fandom anymore. Like, it's just when you make a strong enough friendship with someone, they stay with you for life, and that's always awesome.
For me, well, let's see. I've been volunteering conventions for about 15 years myself. So when I saw an opportunity to help plan with one, then BronyCAN kind of butted and bullied my way and like took advantage of the Canadian kindness in order to help, plan the convention. And yeah, I mean, then just working on guest relations was kind of a big jump. Like before that, I just like managed lines or helped at tabletop games, and then suddenly I was like working with a couple people to do contract negotiations or plan guest schedules. I mean, very stressful, but it definitely brings people together.
So y'all are a part of different conventions, different organizations. So what, since there's organizations as far away as Russia or Australia or the new convention in Thailand, what makes your convention or organization unique? What makes them stand out?
A beach.
Yeah, a beach. There you go.
We win.
Thread.
Panel over.
/ thread. Right there.
I mean, Equestria Daily is the biggest pony blog with over 700 million page views, so I'm pretty sure we have you beat. But that's also the other thing is that
But
we.
do you have a beach?
But do you have a beach? Is there Equestria Daily Beach?
I didn't factor that in. Never mind.
Thank you.
But no, seriously, like we're the only place really that spotlights consistently art, music, videos, news, interviews, et cetera, so we're just we're able to grab a hold of that area and just keep hold of it because we're consistent. We're always doing. Seth is always posting something.
God, I love Seth. I love Seth. He's so awesome.
Seth is an angel.
He is. If you guys haven't met Seth Iso
Yeah.
of Equestria Daily, you should. He is such a great guy.
He's the actual owner. I'm just here
He's the
because
owner,
he's
yeah.
not.
I miss him. I miss Game Leon. I miss
those
Campaign. Those three I miss.
Well,
I miss you too, Illustrious. And you too.
Well, going back to the actual conventions, what sets us apart, other than just the beach, but the fact is, apparently, what we've heard, we are well organized. A big part, and thanks to James and to our chair, Ted, who I think he was supposed to be here, but whatever.
He's on active duty right now.
Well, anyway, we're well organized. That's what we've been told, and people love us for that. And as for Everfree, apparently people love the fact it's in Washington. I don't know why. Apparently, it's great there, and they have a great hotel now.
I think they recently passed a law or something.
Why? Washington's great.
Yeah, that's why it made it great. Yeah. What sets Horse News apart is
Drama.
Yes. And we're also a.
It's like every
It's sort of ironic, but Horse News, as much as we're labeled as a hate group, we're actually a bastion. Yeah. There's one guy that labels us a hate group, and and he still gets his comeuppance every time he tries that. Anyway, we're sort of a bastion of free speech. Honestly, we don't turn down any articles. We let people speak their minds. All you have to do is submit your article, and if it doesn't break any of our 4 tenets, you're good to go. You just publish it. So basically, basically anybody can write a Horse News article, submit it to us. We can check it, and if it can, you're allowed to. That openness is sort of unique, and not only that, what is also unique is the amount of diversity that Horse News actually has in its staff. You have men, you have women, you have of all races, you have people in different continents all around the world, and they're all not writers, but they're also people who contribute information, and it's just one giant dysfunctional family.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Vancouver's a really cool city. It's basically the Canadian version of Seattle, but also we have DHX right there. It helps, and despite how the attendees are generally happy, like whatever your shows, we're actually not that well organized most of the time. It's pretty chaotic, but it kind of works out somehow in the end.
So I have a question. I'm the moderator, so I can ask these things. So the fandom has received some negative press from outside of the fandom, and
Really?
even inside the fandom.
What?
So here's my question.
I'm sorry.
Why has it received negative press, and is it deserved? If so, why? If not, why not?
No comment.
I don't believe
Just
it's deserved because most of it is mainly the same 5 things that you hear with any other type of fandom, like with anime or with
Stereotypes, right?
Video
yeah,
games.
just
It's
basic
basically
stereotypes.
stereotyping.
Like
The only reason why we're different is because we like a show for kids. Well, look where this panel is at. It's dedicated to we're liking something that's aimed toward what could be said
Great
kids.
way to put it.
Well, the way that I look at it is that the reason that the show was made is so that a family can sit down and everyone can enjoy the show. It's not just the girls that are wanting to sit down and have their half hour of fun. And when people are capable of writing shows in such a way, it doesn't really matter where the show is, where the show's target demographic is. Star Trek had a phenomenon with this around 20, 30-ish years ago. I can't really remember, but basically a bunch of women were enjoying Star Trek, and people were like, "Oh, this is weird." And it's just with internet being able to communicate and connect people from across cities, states, countries, and the world, you're capable of having these types of fans. And, while we do have our drama and our politics, which is why horse news exists,
Pony politics.
Oh, the pony politics is so.
that happens
So
whenever two people disagree. So if you can imagine two people ever disagree and that disagreement is never settled or there's no closure, multiply that by however many bronies there are and you're capable of having that much drama. So I don't think it's deserved. I think it's mainly just ignorant people who want, a view every now and then on their website/blog.
Yeah. Actually, that negative press is actually our bread and butter too. We sometimes report on those negative presses. Like I remember when the one from the City Paper of Baltimore decided to do a very, very poorly written and poorly sourced hit piece, quoting a notorious liar by the name. Well, I'm not going to say her name, but the one from Tumblr that caused all that drama a long time back. I think we all know her name, and if you don't, please don't speak her name. She who shall not be mentioned. So yeah, they sourced her as a source to
Is it
attack
a
bronies.
color?
I'm not saying a damn thing, boy.
A source.
A source. Anyway, you get those. You get people who, well, let me just try to clarify it into a few words. Tumblr, please. And that's all I gotta say about negative press. I ain't saying a damn thing, boy.
Any of you
How about you
have
guys?
an answer?
I've said my piece.
So what's your most memorable experience since you've been involved with the fandom?
Start on that side. I gotta think.
I got a good one.
I mean, apart from interviewing a bunch of the show staff, which is always awesome, having them on podcasts and etc., just meeting Seth in general. Seth, he's the owner of Equestria Daily, but he's also just weird. Like, first of all, I'm 5'8", and he's somehow a few inches shorter than me. That immediately, makes me laugh, and he doesn't like that fact. But he's just weird. Like, I'm in Skype groups with him all the time, and I learned so many new sentences that have never been said in the world that he has personally created and made, and it's very impressive, really. He's just a really weird individual.
All I gotta say is I'm actually in a Skype group with Seth, and sometimes I just want to reach into my screen and hug him. He's so great.
He's so nice, but he's so weird.
He's so humble.
Yeah,
Aren't we all?
And he ain't that Black Griffin humble. No. He's actually humble.
yeah, he's a very nice guy.
A nice guy.
Well,
All right. Should I tell my story? This is a great story.
And make it
I'm
quick.
excited.
How much minutes do we have? Okay, I'll make this really quick.
Make it quick anyway.
Okay, so basically, first BABSCon 2014. Me, Caprigiano, my mentor, basically, he taught me how to party. He taught me how. He taught me how.
Before you start, remember there's children in the crowd.
I'm
so
sorry.
Please make it PG-13 or PG.
Remember,
I
No,
don't think
make it G.
I don't think mentors is a bad word. I think mentors are good for people.
it's the partying part.
Oh, it's a tea party. We have tea and sugar
That's
and.
better. Anyway.
I like tea parties. So we were sitting around having lunch with Boxy. Y'all know Boxy, the Queen of Bee, and we get a call. A certain member of the news media that nobody likes was getting kicked out of the convention for being really terrible. Turns out we basically pay our food, raced over there. You just see 10 of us just racing across the street to the convention. The second we find out he was getting kicked out of the convention, he grabbed me by the shirt, just says, "Invite Equestria Daily, invite PVL, invite everybody." And how I can describe that tea party was, have you seen the end of Return of the Jedi, where you have the Ewoks and the Rebels just dancing together because the death of the Empire? That was basically it. One of the greatest nights of my life, by the way.
I think I remember that. Wow.
I can't just pick one for favorites. I mean, I've been to amazing concerts with Bronies and people who eventually became Bronies because I said, hey, you might like this show. I have helped create conventions. I've gone across the country. I'm about to go over to Canada. I am first time out of the country since I got here. I love this fandom. I can't say enough about it. I have made so many great friends and one all right one. I'm not kidding. I love Charlie.
15 minutes.
Let's see. Huh.
Oh,
Well,
15 minutes.
Do you want to do some Q&A then?
Yeah.
After.
Yeah, let's wrap this up.
Okay. Well, okay.
'Cause
So let me start
I'm sure
a
we
fight
have
up here.
thousands of
So
questions right now.
Oh, they're brimming.
who's your favorite character on the show, and why is it better than all the other characters on the show?
do we want to start
All I gotta
brawling
say.
here?
Thank you.
Oh, she's right. She's not canon. How embarrassing.
Pinkie Pie.
Jim Miller says otherwise, so.
Pinkie Pie, full stop. That's all I need to say.
Keep going.
Yeah.
On me?
You got
Yeah,
punked.
you're on the spotlight. Go ahead.
Oh,
I'll say Rarity for me.
yes. I like him now. Even though he's from Canada.
Oh, you like him now? Even though he's from Canada, got that.
Yeah, I mean, how can you not like Canadians? Hey,
Hey, there you go.
Like I said, I don't have to say it. I'm wearing her on my shirt.
It's Sunset Shimmer, by the way, for anyone who.
Yeah, if nobody knows. And then why you're doing here? I mean,
yeah.
I'm partial to Apple Bloom. I love that little hayseed. And after Apple Bloom would be Rarity.
Black Griffin, please.
Elegant.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So before we go to a Q&A, how do we learn more about the organizations that you guys are involved in?
EquestriaDaily.com. We also have a mobile app, which has been downloaded into X amount of times.
That many?
Yeah, dude, it's a lot. That's all I know.
It's almost wild.
Horse-news.net. We don't have an app, but we have the dankest memes for everybody. The dankest.
You got us beat then.
That boy.
Oh man, what up? I can't say the whole thing. There's kids
No.
PacificPonyCon.com for Pacific PonyCon down here, and shameless plug for Everfree since Tails couldn't make it. EverfreeNW.com, and I believe that's The Steven ones are almost ready.
So to find out more about TJ Bronies, you pray to your favorite pony princess and cross the border. Good luck, guys.
Princess Big Mac.
Good luck.
No, you go to Monterey Park. You need some name named Chulo, and then he tells you where to go. Somewhere down to like a bus down to Greyhound down to TJ, and then he tells you to a guy named Marco, and then Marco tells you where the meetups are.
Lost me about 10 minutes ago, man.
What?
Let's see. So for BronyCAN, it's just BronyCAN.ca, not .com, and eat poutine. Find out what it is, because it gets really heavily involved in our convention.
There's a .ca, man?
Yes. Fuck yeah.
So we have 13 minutes left, so we'll go ahead and open the floor to any questions to the panelists.
Oh,
Almost
no.
any questions.
Oh no.
They're brimming.
Let's start with the person in the back wearing.
How about stay away? This is our fandom. No, I'm kidding. You know what? I would recommend not going to Horse News. If you want to have like kids, to enjoy the fandom, I would recommend Equestria Daily.
Or you
to be
could
honest.
go do something for
You heard it here
parent.
first.
Like volunteer for a convention of a parent. Because,
A lot of the conventions are having more kids' room type areas. Like especially BronyCon had a really good one.
Oh, and the show staff loves to take a part of those as well. So,
Yeah.
BABSCon, they had like the story time. Rebecca Soykat had a story time with the kids, and she sat down with them. They all had pajama parties and all that, and she read a bedtime story to the kids. So yeah, the show staff loves the kids stuff, the kids portions of the conventions.
And
Yeah.
some of them are just amazing from what you could see them doing. Pacific PonyCon last year had a box fort that I personally helped make, and it was absolutely fabulous. Another thing we had was a life-size Mission Bell here, which could actually support this guy right here. We have photographic evidence of that.
Well, what really?
She was frowning.
You were that's what was happening.
I was that happy, wasn't I?
Yes, you were.
Oh man.
Any other questions?
Nope, this guy.
Gentleman in the front.
So I'm a British Brony, and one
Hey.
thing we kind of noticed is
Hello, Governor. I would love some, thank you.
one thing we noticed is that, like, especially with
can I say something? You see, because I actually do invest in the stock market, and I do all that number stuff. But
Ooh,
when there's an exponential growth, there's always going to be a retraction. There's always going to be a correction. I'm sorry, but it's going to happen. There's going to be less because for whatever reason. But either it's going to go down, and to be honest, it could be a good thing. It could just mean that the people who are in the fandom just to get more followers and get more views and get more people to follow them, well, fandom jumpers they call them. When those guys leave, you're going to have the lifelongers still staying, the people who are actually into the show because of the show and not for the fame.
We have seen that definitely at Everfree, and I have to say some of those people who were, as he calls the fandom jumpers, they are not really reliable at all. And with the volunteers, that you want the people who can stay who stake and stay. And honestly, that's what people I want to have on my staff, and those are people I love to hang around with.
I'm not really worried about.
I get choked up.
I'm not really worried about it.
I threw my voice out at a concert on Tuesday.
I didn't. You're crying.
I don't know. BronyCAN, we've always been fairly small, so we've always kind of counted on having a fairly small compared to other conventions attendee count. And yeah, we just kind of planned for it, and it worked fine for us.
I saw another question over here. Go ahead, miss.
Howdy ho.
So obviously, as adult males who enjoy a program that's targeted to girls,
It's perfectly normal.
Sailor Moon.
I'm just
man.
messing
That's all
with
I
you.
gotta say.
Don't get defensive.
you have the ability to obviously help other boys, right? And possibly society as a whole start to tear down gender barriers. Do you feel a responsibility towards doing that? And if so, what are your respective organizations doing to further those initiatives?
I would feel that it would be inherently jealous to assume that the Brony fandom is doing that, but it is definitely convenient that, because of this happening, that also at the same time we're having things like Target removing gender labels in their stores, as well as, these types of shows being made that are more family focused, not demographic based, Steven Universe, et cetera, et cetera. So the main thing that I think Equestria Daily does is that when you cater to everyone, you're capable of, having everyone jump on board. If we're just a Brony website, then we're kicking off like the 40% of women who also enjoy the show. I'm not positive that's the number, but it's kind of like a business / just why don't we have everyone hop on board, because we're all enjoying a show, and why should we stop anyone from enjoying it?
Yeah.
So the question is, how is Horse News trying to break down the barriers?
Well, you're showing.
That's my answer.
Do you feel a responsibility towards helping to break
That's a great answer. It's a great answer from him.
No, it's just how am I going to say this without getting my butt whooped?
Well, when you show the drama from both sides, then you're capable of showing that all types of people have drama. There, I answered for you.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, we're going to break down the gender barriers. Nobody gets a free pass. And you screw up and you do something bad in the fandom, we'll report on it. No matter who you are, no matter what gender, what race you are. If you're bad, you're bad. There you go. Basically, equally, everyone's a target. Equality.
So honestly, I think no one or most of us don't really feel a responsibility to do so. We will go ahead and help someone out if they feel that they shouldn't be watching the show because they're a boy or whatever. But honestly, we're a group of friends, and I don't think really there's like this responsibility on top of us that's driving us. At least not for myself.
Responsibility.
I guess the way we can say it is we have not seen that happen, and when the time comes, though, when the time comes for the fandom to stand up and try to break down those gender barriers, we'll know what to do.
Well, I think it's already time is the thing, is that we don't need to have a time for us to do this. It's just if we see this happen, we're going to address it. We don't need a movement. We don't need a, day for us to say, oh, let's bring these people into our fandom again. It's just we're 24/7, always open. Come have fun.
Like a Denny's.
Except better.
You.
Wait, hold on. I know this gentleman has had his hand up earlier, but longer. But there's a girl right behind you.
Oh,
Let's
no.
get her question first.
Okay, Julie, what do you want?
And then we'll get your question.
If we had our own pony, like is
Julie, can you try again?
Are you talking like a Milo Dashi thing? Because I'll just walk off. I will literally just walk out here.
Are you talking like our pony selves?
It's okay.
I'd be very terrified because my pony self could possibly ruin my life.
Hey, drinking buddy. All right.
Damn it.
Yeah, drinking tea.
I could use
Yes,
the
drinking
carpool
really
lane.
strong tea.
Yes.
That's about as far as I can do.
All right, 5 minutes. You.
Damn it.
So nowadays there's about 3 major hubs when it comes to bronies on the internet. There's 4chan, which is kind of a hard.
Woo!
Yeah, and then there's Babylon. Summer. We summer now.
We always summer.
We gotta get that second.
What's the
star.
second?
The second one would obviously be Equestria Daily. Your news sites, and then you have YouTube. So. Which is
Yeah, it's not
exactly.
YouTube.
Okay, so you have the articles. and-
Don't make me get started on the Brony analysis.
I mean,
don't make me.
But I mean, do you think that there's a gap to fill? Because when it comes to early in the BronyCAN, you had 8chan, you had P-chan, you had all these.
Just a bunch. Just a bunch.
Yeah, you had a bunch of sites that
Well,
anybody would go to. You have like 8 or 10 bookmarks.
there's a lot still. I mean, I'm really heavily in film fiction. I used to be DeviantArt. That's about it because I'm lazy. But there's still hubs everywhere, no matter where you go. I mean, I'm sure on. My friend actually was really big on part of the Steam Ponies. Apparently, they had a huge hub and they played games and they were weird and they loved it. I'm part of the film fiction group. We're weird. We love it. But basically, every single group it has its own little hub, and we're just trying to be united in one way or another, no matter where we're at. There's plenty of Facebook page groups. Obviously, EQD, Horse News. There's plenty of places online, but some are just bigger than others.
Well, there's always gaps to fill. It depends on if enough people want to fill in those gaps. EQD was not. EQD exists and is so popular because of the community that's built around it. And I think the same will go for any other website that has the capability and the manpower and, the fans who want to be able to do it, to enjoy the website. We have time for one more question.
Last question of the evening. Make it good.
Yeah.
So this gentleman here was raising his hand.
I have to make a compliment on Pacific PonyCon. Much like the San Diego Comic Fest, it was basically laid back and a more relaxable convention, unlike a certain one at Las Vegas.
Oh, yeah.
I
Convention
love.
that
What
shall
are you
not be
talking
named.
about? I love Las
Yeah.
Vegas'
The
Unicon.
convention that shall
We're
not be
better
named.
than
Las Vegas is Unicon?
Yes.
I'm sorry, I was there and it was okay up to the last day. The last day was terrible, but everything else was fun.
Was that a question? Wait a minute. Oh, wait.
That wasn't really much.
Was
of a-
that a question?
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
that
Okay,
was
give us a
compliment.
question.
Okay,
I-
you
I-
real
the
quick.
question-
The quickest of
really wasn't
quick.
a question.
Can you
Is that-
please just tell people who run conventions or who help with the conventions, tell us what charities you donate to and possibly if you know the number, how much you donate? Because I think Bronies do a lot more than what you had shown
Oh, yeah.
when the other question was asked.
I love that question.
yeah.
Actually,
So-
Horse News did a charity, the first BABSCon,
Yeah, I
for
remember.
rain. We made, actually, this is funny. We made, I think it was $7,777. 777. The marker. Come on.
Wow.
If you watch the 4chan Cup, 777 would be the.
for
Yeah.
Pacific
for-
PonyCon.
For Pacific PonyCon, I
We
believe
did
the number was
the,
just over 1,000 for our first one.
Actually, just under 2,000.
Oh.
So at
2,000.
Pacific PonyCon,
That
which
was
is the
for
local
the-
convention, we donated to the local chapter of the American Red Cross, and we raised over slightly over 1,900.
And
Hey.
real quick, for Everfree, over the years, I believe for Seattle's Children's Hospital, we've gotten about 50K around that over the 5 years, including 1 year where someone paid 15K for a handmade quilt, and 900 for a life-size front page plush, our mascot, and they donated it right back for next year.
Yep. And for
Yeah.
BronyCAN, let's see. One charity, 2 years ago it was for a charity organization that, supported like low-income families. I think we raised about 8K for them to buy a new bus to get people around the city. And last year it was for a wildlife rehabilitation program. Yeah, and it was about 7K for them to like. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but there's probably going to be a few moose or like Canadian geese that need help.
EQD has not personally held any types of donations, but we have definitely spotlighted a lot of fundraisers and stuff like that that have changed lives basically from what we've seen and heard. So I do agree, sir. That's a huge part of the fandom that a lot of people don't really realize, because it's kind of a lot of bronies just kind of donate money and don't really think about it. We just pay it forward.
Or pay $100 for a banana.
There's like I believe like in total the total amount of bronies for donated to charities hit $1 million.
Yes.
A while back.
At least, yeah. Uh-huh.
Actually, it has. I
We
just don't know the
definitely
exact
hit the
number.
million mark.
So for those of you who have asked questions, we have posters here. We got that signed off, if that's okay. Okay.
All right.
So if you'd like to come up, thank you very much for helping us close out this
All right,
room.
that's lunch. All right, that's lunch.
Thank you all for coming.